What's going on, everyone? We're back with another episode. My name is Sig, of course, and it's just going to be myself today. And the reason for that is I'm going to be reviewing and talking about two different games. I'm going to be reviewing Skull and Bones, which just wrapped up their beta about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to be reviewing that game since I was part of the beta testing group as well as the stress test last year. So I'm going to kind of be discussing about that, reviewing, give plus and minuses, all that good stuff about the game, while also looking to a very highly anticipated game for myself, which if you've seen or listened to latest episodes, it's not really Rocco's cup of tea, which is perfectly fine. Completely, we all have our different tastes of games. So we're gonna be looking at Skull and Bones, and then a game that's actually coming out here within a matter of days now, Mortal Kombat 1, which comes out on September 19th. We're gonna be looking into that and looking over the entire aspect of it. I'll do a review on that game when the game is officially live, after I've played it for a few days, maybe a week. So expect a review on that one, let's say the 26th-ish. If that is a Tuesday, let's find out. So yeah, we'll try to have a review for Mortal Kombat 1 around the 26th of September. So here in about 4 weeks from the recording of this. So, but without further ado, let's get into this. Let's talk about Skull and Bones. If you're not familiar with Skull and Bones, this project, and that's what it is right now until the game gets released, which is set. Again, it's been pushed back like a dozen bloody times. It's been pushed back to before March 2024. That is their release date that you can see all over their websites. If you go to Ubisoft.com and click on Skull and Bones. And again, this beta test took place from August 25th to August 28th, 2023. So we're going to be talking all about that. And again, this game is supposed to come out sometime before March 2024. So this project technically started close to 10 years ago, give or take. It's what was originally started on Ubisoft's Black Flag. It was supposed to be a sequel of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So this was supposed to be to carry on as Edward Connors, I forget the name, but it's supposed to be the sequel to Black Flag, and what went from a sequel really just kind of blew up into this monstrous of a game to now being called Skull and Bones, where it has no affiliation whatsoever with the Assassin's Creed. It's going to be a Ubisoft name brand, single lineage. I can't think of the proper word I'm looking for. My brain's literally killing me. This is why we do two people on this podcast, because our brains like to shit out on us. But anyways, so it started off as a sequel. It was supposed to be essentially Black Flag 2. Never happened, and it went into full mass production to create what we have now. And last year, when the release date was supposed to be, I believe, February or March of 2023, this year, they did a massive stress test, and it did not, according to their reports, it did not handle or perform the way they wanted it, where they felt comfortable enough to release it on time. At this point, the game had already been pushed back like 3 or 4 times to get to March of 2023. So they pushed it back again and went to the summer of 2023. Then they pushed it back again to the fall of 2023. And then they pushed it back to wintertime of 2023. And then they gave it a tentative date before the end of 2023. And it wasn't till about 2 weeks before the beta, so beginning of August, that they gave it the tentative date of before March 2024. So literally, we now have a span between, it could literally come out tomorrow or it can come out February 28th. And and we would still be before March 2024. But I will tell you this: if you are a if you love the genre, the not speculatory, the specialness of pirates and pirates' life and being a sea voyager and plundering and raiding, all that stuff. If you love Sea of Thieves, this is basically for the most common sense and common phrasing possible to use, put in like simplest terms. There we go. This is Sea of Thieves on some massive fucking steroids. And it's amazing. I honestly had very, very few negative remarks about this game overall. And I'll get those out of the way really quick here shortly. But basically, this game can be played completely by yourself as a single player. You don't need multiplayer. You don't need to play with other people. Now, it does make certain things easier, but at the same time, teaming up with others also increases the difficulty of all the enemies. So whether that is hunting down a bounty for another pirate ship, or for the compagnie, or the Seaward people, or really any of the other clans slash groups inside of this game, it literally intensifies the difficulty of it. So what was once able to, like, you go take a bounty, and there's one of the first bounties you can get is you need to bring back the head of this pirate from the Farah clan, and you can go out and you can you can go and just singly do this yourself, and you don't need any other people. It's a little tough. It's not hard. You just kind of gotta stick and move as best as you can with your pirate ship. But if you, like, I did that one, and it took me maybe 5 to 10 minutes to do it by myself. And you can pick the bounty up after a couple hours has passed. You can pick it up again. I did it again about 2 or 3 more times, and it took so much longer, and it was so much harder. Yeah, it was harder, significantly harder, because you now have more people, and they jack up. I don't know the exact percentage. I couldn't find the like 2x, 3x type for their health and their damage, but it goes from being like one bounty pirate ship that you're hunting to now that bounty has a whole fleet behind them. So now it's you and however many of the people you have, and the more people you have, the harder it is. So just kind of keep in mind. So it may go from like a 1x to a 2x, and then jumps to a 4x, 6x, 8x type thing. Like it's significantly harder the more people you get on it. But the rewards, oh my god, the rewards stack so freaking insanely. Meaning, even though it is a significantly harder opponent to take down, the more people you get makes it harder, but the more people you get grants you significantly more amazing rewards. And it's baffling. Like I was saying, I did the bounty by myself, and I got one golden treasure chest. I, of course, got the head of the pirate. I got some ammunition, very basic materials or mats for the gamers out there. And it was fun. I was like, oh, cool, that's awesome. I got amazing. Well, I thought it was amazing at the time. I got amazing payout. Teamed up again with one other person who was needing help. Went after about 45 minutes of trying to take this damn ship down. All my rewards literally tripled. Plus, I got like uncommon slash rare materials and mats. Like I would get the sapphire, the uncut sapphire, the cut sapphire, diamonds, gems, and all that stuff. And I was like, oh man, this is like so much better. And then again, I did this probably 2 or 3 more times after that. Every day I did the bounty at least once, if not twice. And the beta was 3 days long, 4 days long. So I did the same beta or the same bounty numerous times. And the more people we got on it, granted, yes, it got harder. It was significantly more difficult. However, we got to a crew of 6 by the final one, and the rewards on that thing was just so astronomically beneficial. Like I was able to go upgrade my ship. I was able to go actually buy a new ship so where I can have a stronger ship, a faster ship, a ship that has more spots on it. And that's the thing is the rewards are amazing. It is harder, but again, you don't need to play with other people. If you're like me, you just don't care too much to play with randoms. You can definitely do this by yourself, but they do make it they legitimately make it beneficial to have other people. Now, again, don't have to, but they make it beneficial. Whereas, like comparing it to a very popular game that I still play, Destiny 2, and even World of Warcraft from time to time, just because you have more people inside your fire team or your group or your clan, whatever, when you're playing these missions and these bounties, doesn't necessarily mean better rewards or higher rewards. Typically, those games, especially Destiny 2, they they will grant you better rewards for certain things like something called a lost sector if you can complete it by yourself. Cool, awesome. I love that. But there's no real benefit other than just making it a little bit easier to defeat aspects of the game inside Destiny 2 or World of Warcraft. Whereas Skull and Bones, it's harder to defeat your bosses. It's harder to defeat things, but your rewards outweigh that. So that's the probably one of my favorite aspects of it. I have tons of favorite aspects about this, really. So that's the big thing. That again, it's kind of again, it's catch 22. If you're like me, you can do it by yourself. I love it. But playing with other people, while yes, it was more slightly more enjoyable, it also was more pain in the ass, and it made me not want to play with other people more. So that's kind of like love the aspect of it, love the benefits, and you just have like bite grin and bear it, for lack of a better word, tough it out with teammates for a temporary time. You don't have to play with these teams the entire time. You can literally pick up teammates as you go along and chat with each other and say, hey, I need this, you need it, cool, let's go do it. So amazing aspect of it. On top of that, or I guess I should have started this out. It's a pirate game, okay, and the whole premise of this is for you to become the most fearsome pirate kingpin ever. You're trying to take over the entire seas, all seven of them, and there are multiple clans and factions that you have to go up against, that you can partner with, that you can befriend and take out other clans slash factions. But at the same time, you have to be very careful of how much you befriend one versus attack the other. And kind of like Grand Theft Auto, where for those of you who maybe not familiar with Grand Theft Auto, you have a police system. So 5 stars, and the more you kind of like fuck around with the cops and do stupid shit that you're not supposed to, your most wanted goes up by stars, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, and the stronger the cops become in Grand Theft Auto. Very similar inside of this game is if you attack a clan, and it could just be like their merchant ship or their warships, whatever. The more you attack that faction or clan, the more stars you get. I think their star system was 6, if I remember correctly, 6 or 7. But the more you attack them, the more ships all of a sudden just freaking pop out of nowhere, and now you're attacking and being attacked like crazy. And you can outrun them to a degree. Like keep in mind, you're a pirate ship on the water. And during the beta, the fastest ship I think that was out there, somebody reported they were able to get to like 16 knots, which is amazing to begin with. Not amazing when you're trying to outrun the damn crew that you are attacking. But so you have that most wanted aspect of it, which is like a very sought after system, an aspect of even like Grand Theft Auto that people tend to love. Because I remember when I used to play Vice City religiously growing up at a point, and so many people would just go and piss off the cops. Same with like Need for Speed had the most wanted as well, and you would just deliberately go and do anything you could to annoy the cops, piss them off, and see if you can get to 5 stars, and then decrease it by evading them or take them all out. With this one, it's a little bit harder to take your most wanted stars down, because you do have to evade them, But in the process of evading them, you're still having more and more pop out of nowhere. And the higher your stars go, the stronger their weapons, the stronger their ships, the faster their ships, the faster the reload of their weapon. And it just becomes an all-out war on you, and it's amazing. Like pain in the ass at times, but it's bloody amazing. That was a lot of fun to play around with, and to see them finally have that nailed compared to the stress test. And on top of all that, you still have all these islands that you can go to. So there's kind of the caveat or the catch is, even though there's all these islands you can dock at and run around on, if you are being hunted or you're in combat, they don't let you land. So you have to evade enough, which means you can't just, like you can in Grand Theft Auto, you can't just get out or get off your vehicle, in this case the ship. You can't get out of your ship and go around the land. No, the game will not let you. So you have to be very strategic. You have to be very strategic about how you go about all this, and whether or not you rack up that 5-star, 6-star, 7-star, wherever their system is. I honestly forget. Or you play it safe and you just take on like a merchant ship, which is a very small vessel, and you take their little onesie twosies rewards, or maybe just attack one ship. And then on top of that, or not on top of that, in addition, whatever, however you want to phrase it, there's strongholds, would be the best way to kind of phrase it. But there are strongholds on some islands, not all, and it's your faction strongholds, not yours specifically, but like the other ones that you go against. There's like the Sea People, Farah, the Compagnies. There's the French team. I believe there's a Spanish one. There's several different factions. In beta, I encountered 6, and then you also have your rogues. Oh my god! And it's just there's a lot to do, and there's a lot to go on. There's very seldomly any downtime inside the game, unless you just purposely are not going out on the adventure. You're not traveling from island to island doing quests or missions and bounties and all that. But there's these strongholds, and the strongholds you can plunder. And when you plunder them, there is a radius circle that appears, and you have to stay within that radius circle to allow your people to plunder that stronghold. And there are 5 checkpoints, for lack of a better word, during that plunder, where your little dinghy will fill up and you can go collect the rewards. But the higher up in that checkpoint that you go, in the progression system that you go, the more that happens to you on the water. So like that first, from 1 to 2 in the progress system / checkpoint, is very easy. It goes by really quick. You may encounter one other ship that's associated with that faction or that stronghold. But when you go to like 2 to 3, you're getting probably about 3 to 4 more ships that pop up, and you have to defeat these ships before your plunder can keep going, keep progressing. And if you leave the radius, then your plunder stops, and you can lose out on the rewards from that gap. So if you, let's say you leave between the 2 and 3 progression checkpoint, then you don't get any of that rewards. Makes sense. That's duh type thing. But that was one thing I saw a lot of people in the chat or even comments saying, this is stupid. I didn't want to, like, I don't want to continue to 3. I should at least got my rewards. No, you got to finish what you start, which is very nice, where you can't just go over there and cheese the system or glitch the system and say, I'm just going to leave, because you get some decent rewards from 2 to 3. But of course, the higher up you go in that progression system, that checkpoint system, they don't really have a name for it, the stronger the enemies become as well. So you go from like a merchant ship coming to attack you, to a warship coming to attack you, to a fleet of warships coming to attack you, and you have to stay within that radius. And it's not a big radius. Like, you can definitely like skim the outside of it and still be somewhat considered inside the circle, and do circles, literally just laps, to defeat them. And it's worth the rewards, but it's definitely hard, regardless of by yourself or not. And the funny thing about all of it is, again, this is where that multiplayer aspect of it, You don't need to play multiplayer to play this game, to beat this game, to progress through this game. Not needed at any point. But something like the plunder, again, your enemies get harder, but your plunder rewards are so freaking amazing. I'm like astronomically amazing. Just it's so impressive to see all of it. And I can't wait till this game comes out to see the progression that they make with it and see where it goes from there. Because from stress test to beta test, it took leaps and bounds, and it was just like as amazing to see all of it. It was awesome to finally experience it from a stress to the beta, especially on something like the plunder that was available during stress test. It changed so much during the from then to the beta testing. Whereas when I did the stress test, maybe one or two ships would come out and defend the stronghold. Beta test, I was taking down fleets and I was having to be very strategic. And you don't have unlimited ammo. There is one your very first cannon that you get that does technically have unlimited ammo, but the reload time is like 6.5 seconds to 7.2 seconds. So you have to be very thoughtful about that. And then you do get different weapons, you do get different systems that you can mount on your pirate ship. But each ship is different. So some ships you can't have any weaponry on it at all. Other ships you can have on your top deck, you can have 3 weapons, 1 to 3 weapons. Then the bigger the ship is, the more, of course, weapon systems you can have on there. So during beta, they didn't allow me to get too high up there, but the ship they had that you could get on the beta had 2 decks, and you could have a total of 6 weaponry on it, and it was insane to get to that point. And you had to be like very careful about what weapon system you put where. And they have cannons, they have slingshots, they have giant uh, mortars, they have bombarders, they have forget the technical name, bow and arrow, basically. Well, I can't think what those are called. I know them, can't think of them. But you have a bunch of different ones, and each weapon system can be upgraded to a tier of, I think I saw 7, 8, maybe 10. During beta, they only showed 7. I counted at one point it was 7. So this all could change too. So keep that in mind. This was beta. All this could be tossed out the window come March or before March. Don't think so though. So your cannon literally has like cannon 1, cannon 2, cannon 3, cannon 4, bombarder 1, bombarder 2, bombarder 3, 4, so on, so on. And you need to be careful because they each have different reloads, they each have different effects, they each have different range and speed, velocity, damage, all that. So it's very much a tactical aspect of the game, and it comes into play when you're doing these bounties or when you're doing these plunders. Because if you have all three of your are just basic cannons, you are not going to survive very well. Yes, they have unlimited ammo for those basic ones, but they're not very strong. Their reload is very slow, and you cannot shoot them off unless they are in that that perspective or that field of view. So you have a cannon on what is it, starboard and port side, and then the fronts of the ship. So you have to literally be looking over to your right hand side of the ship, and you can shoot the weapons on the right. You can, if you're looking through the left hand side, you can shoot on the left. If you're sailing forward and you need to shoot something in front of you, it has to be mounted on the front. So you can't just kind of like rotate these and expect it to shoot. It's very, very much a practical aspect of the game where you have to be mindful and use some intelligence to go, okay, they're on my port side, let me look over there, use the weapon on my port side, oh, they're on my starboard side, let me look over there and shoot with that weapon, oh, they're in front of me. So you have to be mindful of about that. And that, again, for me, I like those type of aspects of games. I like that type of reality inside of it because you can't just sit there and spam your attack button. So, but one cool thing you kind of can do if you're quick about it and your ship is quick, keep that in mind, is kind of drop the anchor and just spin in a circle, either left to right, right to left, whichever one, and you literally just shoot your port side, front, starboard, and then you rotate back around. So by the time you get back to port side, you can shoot that weapon. Now that leaves you as a sitting duck, but it's a fairly effective way if it's just like you versus one other pirate ship, if or one other ship. Sorry, it's very effective. However, if your game wanted or you being hunted, then you're kind of screwed because the more ships there are, you don't want to be a sitting duck. But the combat on it is just it's just amazing, and it's naval combat. I want to preface that because I think I kind of totally forgot about that. To mention it is it's all naval combat, so you're not gonna land on an island and go use pistol and sword, which is kind of one of the downside people had about it. I personally don't have a problem with that because I don't want to have to worry about combat on land and combat at sea. If they brought that into it, depending upon how elegantly it's incorporated into the game, it could be amazing. But historically speaking, games that have combat on both sides of it, both sides of the spectrum, on sea and on land, or even like Grand Theft Auto on the streets and off the streets, like it's enjoyable to a degree, but there are definitely several times where you have a quest or you have a bounty, you have a mission, whatever, and it takes you to an island and you just want to go search for it. And there are a lot of these quests are not easy in the slightest, where it is a riddle of some degree, or worse, say you find a treasure map, you find a whole treasure map, because there are definitely uh, items you can get where it's a portion of a treasure map, so you have to find the other maybe 3 or maybe 6 or maybe 8. I had a treasure map that I had to hunt down all the parts to it during the beta, and it had 10 portions to it, and for love of God, I never finished it. I got to, I think, portion number 8 or 9, and the beta ended, so I could continue on. But these treasure chests will give you kind of a overview of a specific section on the map, and then it'll be a zoomed in, and it's hand drawn like they would have during the pirate days, and then you can see like where the treasure will be, and you have to go to this island and search and look, and it's difficult in that sense, but it's also the puzzle aspect of the game that makes it very enjoyable. But just kind of for a very small example, is one of the first treasure chests or treasure maps you can get for a treasure chest. It literally tells you to go to this island that's just right outside the main port that you dock at, St. Augustine, I believe is what it's called. Again, I'm really bad with names. But you just travel across the waterway. It's literally 30 seconds at most to get there. And you have to get out, and the icon on the map shows just a rock, like in the shape of an oval. I'm drawing it with my finger, and you can't see it because it's a podcast. It's an oval shaped rock, and you have to find that along with what looks like an X on the sand plus an animal skull to the right, and then there's somewhere in that vicinity there's a treasure chest, and it's not in the X or under the X or on the X. It's literally you just have to search around, and then you can dig it up, and depending upon what it is will be really good. Of course, the harder the treasure map is, the better the rewards are. So it's you get that treasure hunting aspect of it, and then there's factions and sub factions on the island as well, where you can go trade and barter and all that. And then you have caches systems on majority of all islands that you land. So if you need to just like empty out your ship, you can definitely unload into the cache, and it gets transferred to your vault on the main island too. So it's all linked together. But the island aspect of it is there's always something there, whether you need to barter with a merchant, you want to continue on with a progression of a quest, or you're hunting for a treasure map. There's always something to kind of do on the islands. And each island has specific and unique items of which you can purchase or trade for as well. So if you're, for example, there is a quest where you need uncut rubies, there's 2 ways you can go about it. I guess technically 3 if you wanted. The hardest way, in my opinion, was to go find the ruby mines or sunken ships or broken ships, because you'll be sailing the seas and you'll see a ship that's been just washed up on shore. It's no longer operable, but you can go over, you can plunder, or not plunder, you can raid it and take all the loot inside of it. The problem with that one is, since it is open world and you are playing with other people, whether directly playing as them on your team or they're just roaming the seas too, is you're competing for resources. So if there's a ship in front of you, another player that gets to that down ship first, and they can open it, because you do, it's not just as simple as like loot done. No, you have to break it open using a crowbar, and you have to break 5 or 6 locks. So there's a unlocking system put in place too, and if you if they get to it before you do, you can't loot it. It's literally empty. Now, if they leave something behind, absolutely you can loot it. But most people will loot everything or leave the scraps, like scrapped wood or scrapped fabric. Cool, it's not worth a damn. It's like 1 to 2 gold at most. But so you're competing for resources on that. The second way you can do it, it's a little bit easier, depending on how well you are with naval combat, is you can just go attack merchant ships. Certain factions have different rewards on their merchant ships. So some will have sapphire, some will have these rubies, some will have diamonds, some will have no gems whatsoever. And then the easiest option, but it does cost you gold, is several islands associated with that faction. I believe it's Farah has rubies, at least during the beta. You could go to an island that has a Farah merchant and trade with them or buy from them. And it's like 27 gold for 1 uncut. And you need 7 uncut rubies. So now you're going to be spending over 100 gold. So you need to make sure you have the gold to spend it. So there's multiple ways to get all these items and get to fulfill the quests so we can turn them in. And unlike certain games, or other games I should say, even though you complete the quest, it does not mean it's finished. You still have to go turn it in from the place that you got it, whether it's St. Augustine, the main island, or these sub little islands that you're island hopping to. You have to turn them in. And this is kind of where, again, I don't want to say super realistic, but realism comes into play, is your cargo on your ship is 100% susceptible to being lost. So you still have to sail the seas with whatever goods you have for that quest and turn it in. Now, yes, you can fast travel and it does cost you. That has been the biggest kicker I've seen people bitch and complain about, was the fact that they had to pay to fast travel. Because there's a lot of games where you can literally just fast travel where you are. For Skull and Bones, you have to be at a dock and you can fast travel to a dock that you've already been to. So, of course, you can't just fast travel to random places. It has to be somewhere you've already been. The further away you are from that port, the more money it costs. So, you gotta kind of keep that in mind. Again, being very mindful. Or you can just sell the seas and travel there. So, let's say though you're sailing back to St. Augustine and you're trying to dock at that port. The catcher is you need to avoid contact with anyone else at all times, so where you can safely travel and not be attacked. And easier said than done on some occasions. If you were wanted before and you evaded them and you got your most wanted down, and let's just say you accidentally fire your cannons and you fire at the Farah people that you just were wanted by, you can get your stars back real quick. And now you're having to not only try to travel and evade them, or you can travel and try to defeat them, but then again, thus increasing your stars. So you have to be very aware of your entire situation and where you're going, who you're around. And then there's the PvP aspect of it, is you can get attacked by other players. During beta, they didn't really allow PvP, but that will be an aspect that can be, I would assume, turned on and off. Or maybe it's like World of Warcraft, where there's certain servers. So right now there's just their main servers. Again, this all can drastically change too. So granted, it's all, I guess. But you can be attacked by other players. So if they wanted to attack you and steal your goods, they could. Now they're not gonna have access to all your goods. They're just gonna be able to steal some of it. It's a percentage. But say you do go down and you lose the battle, your ship gets wrecked. You're out of that ship. So hopefully you have another ship set up, or you're gonna use your dinghy. Um, so you have to go get another ship or use a backup, and you can sell back and get most of your goods back. You're not ever going to get 100% of it, but you're going to get most of it back as long as no one else has plundered it. Because again, your ship's down, other people can plunder the goods. So you got to be very mindful of all this. But again, the overall aspect of all these multiple facets come together to create such a semi-realistic, as much as video game can be. Um, the game itself just becomes very real. A perspective of, okay, well, do you want to go out and be a destructive kingpin pirate where you're just going out and you're wrecking havoc on the seven seas and destroying all the pirate ships around you? Do you want to be a financial kingpin, like a mob boss, where you are just out for the money and you're very good with kind of circumventing combat? You can. Do you want to partner up with other people and let them kind of go through the power house of combat and you just kind of go through the negotiation? You can. There's multiple ways to play this, and there's no one definitive way to play that's better than the other, because overall it really is just how you play is going to affect the overall game, and how you play is going to affect your play itself. So there are tons of things you can do in this game. You do have to find material like wood and animal. You do have to keep your crew happy, and that comes in multiple ways too. Because while you're sailing, your crew's going to get hungry, so you have to feed them, which means you have to have food, which means you have to find food, you have to cook food. And to cook food, you have to have the recipe. So now you have to find that aspect of it as well. You have to keep water on board, whether that is a decoration, so to speak, where, like, let's say you have a water barrel on board. Cool. Now your crew doesn't get nearly as thirsty as quick, but you still need to have water on hand to give them so where they can drink it. You have to let them rest. So there's that integral aspect of it, where even though you're in combat or you're sailing the seas, but your crew is hungry, your crew is thirsty, your crew is tired, there ain't nothing you can do other than feed them, let them rest, or give them water. And even then, it's a slow regeneration of it. Now, granted, some items help regen faster, bigger, healthier, not healthier, bigger meals provide more energy to the crew, therefore they get fuller faster, and you're able to start sailing at a faster speed again. And most ships will have at minimum two different speeds. You have your cruising speed, and then you have like your sail, all your sails are down, and you're just ripping through the water. And then the bigger ships you get multiple increments in between, so you can go from like a little bit faster of a cruise to full sail to speedster. Like the ship makes such a drastic difference. The bigger the ship, the more features you have available, from decoration to your firepower that you have on board. So it all comes into play. It all makes very important. And then all these materials you need, you can find them while just sailing the seas, and you can look, and there's icons all over your map. So it's not something you have to find first to be able to rediscover. Your map will tell you that, oh, there's crocodiles over here, there's sharks over here, there's a whale over here, there's fishery over here. So where you can kind of go to that zone and you can harvest the resource. Again, you are competing for resources. So if you're going for iron or copper to improve your ship, and you go to an area on your map and there's already two people there or one person there, you ain't getting the resources because they've already harvested it. So it's a first come first serve, which drastically changes the game, because now you're having to be very resourceful of, do you focus on upgrading your ship? Do you focus on upgrading your pirate himself to be a better kingpin? You have to balance everything out. And then you have to balance your relationship with the current kingpin of the seas. And that's kind of how it all starts out, is you're working for him, helping him, and eventually you will take it over from him, or you'll compete with him. So there's just so much you can bloody do with it, and it's so amazing. Now, I have very little negative things to say. The only real like downside for me that I found was, and again, I'm playing on PC. I'm not playing on console, so I'm not playing on Xbox or PlayStation. I play on PC, so I don't know the controls specifically to those consoles. So I just want to preface that. I probably should have said that at the beginning of this. But for a computer, is I can press my F button, and that lets me instantly just join up with somebody. That I did not like. That is the one big thing I did not like, because early on I would just randomly be walking by, or there'd be somebody that's near a merchant I need to talk to, and my F key is my interaction key. But it's not just my interaction key; it's also my interaction with like other people, and there's no uh, differentiation of key binding, so it's just interaction. So if I'm talking to a merchant, or I'm trying to talk to a merchant, I get to their shop, and somebody walks by me, or I get a little too far to the right, to the left by somebody else, I'm going to join that party or join that team, and now there I have to go through and kick them out, or I have to leave, so I can talk to the merchant, or so I can do what I wanted, which was talk to the merchant. It's tedious, and I would rather them have an interaction button, and then like having a press and hold feature rather than just press it. So where if I am by somebody, I can read it, versus me running around just spamming the F button, thinking, okay, I need to get to this merchant. I need to buy more cannonballs or more ammo. So let me just get to the merchant really quick because I'm in a rush, and I accidentally join another team, and it's just tedious. It's not like me bitching and complaining about it. It happened a lot, to the point where I would be joining other teams and not even know it. Which again, that cool aspect of the multiplayer feature is you can join other people, but you don't have to physically join them. You don't have to sell the seas with them. You get your own ship, they get their own ship, so they can travel the world, and you can travel the world too separately. But again, your enemies are harder, but your rewards are greater. So whether somebody's helping you out or not, if you have somebody on your team, understand that your interaction with the enemies are going to be harder because you are part of a team that has more than one person. Again, very cool aspect of it. But multiplayer is a catch 22 for me. I love these aspects of it. I love the fact that the rewards are greater. I don't like how easy it is to literally just join somebody. Um, I if they don't have like a push and hold type function, I would rather in that case have a like double check system where it's like, oh, are you sure you want to join up with this pirate? Are you sure you want to join up with other people? And you'd be like, ah, shit, no, I just cancel that. I don't want to do that. That alone would make this game damn near perfect. As a beta, in the beta, I would say this is a fully fixed game and fully set game. Now, I do know they're still making changes, they're still upgrading, they're still improving upon it, which is fucking great. I'll say this, I said this numerous times on different episodes of this podcast. Don't release a shitty game. If it's not finished, don't release it. Cyberpunk by CD Projekt Red got screwed over because they caved to consumers, and they released Cyberpunk 2077 way too early, and it was not a finished game, and it just did not perform very well for a very long time. Skull and Bones is not being, well, maybe they're being harassed. I'm not seeing anything in the gaming news spectrum, but they have postponed this game over a year now, and when this game is fully finished, I have a feeling this is going to be an amazing fucking game beyond belief. Like, easily 9.5 out of 10. If not, it won't be a 10 out of 10 game, because there's still way too many perspectives and aspects of the game that cost it a full star or half star or whatever. Could be wrong, though. In my mind, right now, this game is definitely a 9 out of 10 with very, very little issues. And the issues that do exist are a personal issues for me, like that joining up. But the fact that it's there, it's able to do, it's easy to do, makes the game very enjoyable to play. And you have so many things you can do, from selling the seven seas to plundering faction strongholds to fighting on the seas. Um, Tons of different quests and bounties and missions and treasure maps. You get to fully customize your pirate ship. You can customize your crew. You get a lemur. I named mine Zabumafu, even though they wouldn't let you rename the lemur. We called him Zabumafu. And if you don't know who that is, you're too damn young to be listening to this podcast. Um, but there's so much customization that you can do for both your ship and your pirate and for their crew. There's so much you can do on the seven seas, and it's literally yours to control, yours to play as you see fit. And if you join up with other people, there's even, or not even more, it changes your game more so because not only is everything harder, you get more riches, but you now can go do bigger world events. Lot Not really easier because they're harder, but you can do bigger events. Whereas there are world events where you're trying to go attack a fleet of important goods that are traveling, and you have to defeat them before they reach their destination point. And you can see it, and you can either play it by yourself, and hopefully other people will be around to do it too. As long as you are not part of their crew, it is easier for you. If you get joined up on or you join on others, your game instantly becomes harder. But again, rewards outweigh the difficulties. You just have to kind of grin and bear it and get through. So there's definitely times where doing world events or bounties is maybe a better option to do by yourself. You may struggle a bit, but it'll be a lot easier than it would be with two people or three people or four people or however many. Right now, I don't know what the cap is for multiplayer either, like how many people can be on your team. We got to 7 people, including myself, during a beta, so at least 7, maybe more. Wasn't really able to find out the exact number. So you have so much you can do for this game, and the fact that this game is still not considered finished is impressive. I do recommend this game especially if you're a fan of like Sea of Thieves, if you're a fan of Grand Theft Auto, if you're a fan of, well, even like Destiny. Like I think this is more fun and more enjoyable than Destiny. Again, I've been playing Destiny since it came out years ago, and there's just so much to do and so much interaction to be had, so much customization, building your fleet and building your reputation. Is just, it seems never ending right now, and you literally start from the bottom and have to work your way up as the best kingpin possible. And I know I said sail the seven seas. That's just a phrase. You are in the Indian Ocean the whole time, so just kind of be aware of that. So it is restricted, if that makes sense. But I highly recommend this game, and when the game does come out, you can definitely count on me playing this bloody game. And if you want to see videos of the beta, you can head over to my private channel, CyberMerc Sig, and it's over on YouTube. Head over there and watch it. It has its own little playlist, has its own little categorization, and I think there's like 4, maybe 5 videos up there because again, played every day that the beta was out. Um, so go check it out. Watch the trailer, watch some gameplay, watch my gameplay. And I do live reviews during the beta as well. So if you want a little bit more in depth, you want to see what I'm talking about exactly, go check it out. But well, yeah, go check out Skull and Bones. I had a brain fart. This is why I need Roggle. Um, Go check it out. Play it. Again, release date is before March 2024. So we don't know. We don't have the definitive date yet. And then lastly, this last part will be fairly quick because it's not released, and I will do a review on this next game. But this next game I've talked about, even on the last episode where we were talking about WWE Payback, Mortal Kombat 1 is set to come out September 19th of this year. So literally 15 days from the day of this recording. And they basically have restarted the Mortal Kombat universe. and there's so much going on in there. People who died are coming back in different variations. People who once played pivotal roles as enemies or evil people have now been deemed good or been given a different chance. So the best way to kind of explain that is like Hanzo, which is Scorpion. His family was never attacked, therefore he never became the true Hellion Scorpion. So there's just so much to go on, and again, I will review this game in whole. The 26th, there should be an episode released on that day covering the review of Mortal Kombat 1, so stay tuned for that. And it's also roughly the fall time, which means video games are going to start coming out. We have Mortal Kombat 1 coming out on September 19th. We have Starfield. Oh, that one actually comes out on September 6th. I forgot about that one. So I'll be playing that one and I'll try to get a review, whether it's a full episode or just a micro episode, we'll see. But Starfield, which is a highly anticipated game, currently just on Xbox and PC. Again, Mortal Kombat comes out on the 19th. I'll do a review on that one. We have the highly anticipated Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which will actually include Venom. That one comes out on October 20th, same day that Super Mario Bros. Wonders comes out, which that's supposed to be a reimagine, relaunch, whatever you want to call it, of the Super Mario World. So I will be playing that one as well and try to do a review on that. I don't know if we will. We'll see. But I'll definitely be talking about it on a later episode because I do enjoy the Super Mario games. So we'll see with that one. Again, they've already said this is going to change Super Mario Brothers as a whole. So we'll see whether for the better or for the worse. And we have a game that, of course, Rog and I will definitely be playing. The Modern Warfare 3 Call of Duty franchise, of course, 2023 edition, which comes out on November 10th. You can honestly bet us to talk a lot about that just because we play Call of Duty a lot right now, especially on Thursday night games or game nights, which if you're not familiar with it, Rogel and I literally just get together on our respective channels. Rogel for his, Cybermerc Sig for mine, and we stream and play Call of Duty Warzone. So November 10th, there'll be a huge update to that, as well as an introduction of zombies, which I'm going to make him play whether he likes it or not. And then lastly, we have the highly anticipated Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which comes out December 7th. Those are really the big games that I would say, at least for us. I'm sure there's tons of others. There's several other games that are like on watch or on standby, like Mortal Kombat Onslaught, which is supposed to come out for mobile, but there's no information on it at all. So we'll definitely see what happens, what comes of all of it, and anytime there's a new game, we're going to try to review it. Again, Mortal Kombat, Starfield, Call of Duty, Pandora, or it's not Pandora, sorry, Avatar. Jesus, struggling hard, aren't I? And then just random other little games as well that we'll check into and see how well they work, how well we like them. Spider-Man, again, that one will depend on if Rogel plays it. If he doesn't, I'll review it somehow. I just won't have any hands-on experience for it to give an honest 100% review. But so, with that said, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you get some information based off of Skull and Bones. And I can't wait to review Mortal Kombat 1, both gameplay stream and review it for the podcast. So don't forget to go check out our merch shop at shop.2guys1gamepad.com. Tons of merch are coming out on a pretty regular basis right now. Halloween's coming up, so we have a couple Halloween items on there that are kid-friendly and not kid-friendly. But yeah. Again, I highly recommend Skull and Bones. Check it out. And once we get an official launch date or release date, I will update it and let you all know. And you can bet your sweet ass I'm going to play it. But right now, this week, I'll be playing Starfield until Mortal Kombat 1 comes out. So we'll see. I may do a micro review for Starfield. It kind of depends. But without further ado, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful time. Until next time, everyone, take care, stay safe, and tune into the next episode every Tuesday and Thursday. Till then, everyone, take care.